Sukyutu and good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome once again to the weekly Sunday Pūjā in Unison and Dhamma Sharing Online, an initiative of the RW's Council of Malaysia and is hosted by MSBS and DBV. It's certainly good to see all of you once again on this online platform. Today is the 3rd of September 2023. To begin today's puja, I shall now invite Sister May to read out the offerings in English. Over to you, Sister May.
Thank you very much, Brother Terence. Suki Hontu and good morning to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to our weekly online Sunday Pūjā and Dhamma sharing. Before we begin the Puja chanting, I shall read out the significance of the virtual offerings that we shall make with full respect to our blessed teacher, the Buddha. Now let us compose our minds and reflect on the words spoken. Offering of lights. May we offer these candles burning brightly out of deep respect and veneration to our enlightened master, the Buddha. May these lights symbolically guide us to the light of the Dhamma, which dispels the darkness of greed with the light of generosity, the gloominess of hatred with the light of love, and the darkness of ignorance with the light of wisdom, through the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Offering of joss sticks and incense. May we offer these joss sticks and incense out of deep respect and veneration to our blessed master, the Buddha. May the fragrance of these joss sticks and incense be pleasing unto the gods and devas. May our good deeds be like the fragrance of these joss sticks, cultivating compassion, patience, tolerance, understanding, and love towards all living beings. Offering of water. May we offer this water to symbolize our aspiration to cultivate the virtues of calmness, clarity, and purity. Let it remind us to diligently cleanse ourselves of our spiritual defilements and delusion through the cultivation of generosity, compassion, and wisdom. Offering of flowers. These flowers too we offer out of deep respect and gratitude to our compassionate master, the Buddha. These flowers, sweet, beautiful, and choice, are clustered at the feet of our noble master. Beautiful as they are now, they will soon, with passing of time, wilt and fade and be cast away. Reflecting thus on this very nature of unsatisfactoriness, impermanence, and soullessness, let us tread the path shown by the Buddha for the eradication of sufferings here and now. Now let us commence the Sunday Pūjā chanting by giving our highest salutations to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha by saying Sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majjapamadattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandittiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Paccatang Veditabo Vinyuhiti. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho. Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho. Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho. Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho. Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho. Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang Punya Ketang Lokasati.
Vandami cetiyam sabbam sabbatane supatititang savivikadatu mahabodhim buddha rupam sakalam sada yasamule nisinno va sabbari vijayam akka patto sambanyutam satta vande tam bodhipadapam ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita ahampite namassami bodhi raja namattute ganasarappadit tena dipena tamadang sina tiloka dipam sambuddham pujayami tamonudam ganda sambara yuttena dupena hang sugandina pujaye pujani yantang puja bhajana muttamang adivase tu no bante pani yang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patiganha tu muttamang adivase tu no bante bojanang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patiganha tu muttamang adivase tu no bante gilanang pacayang imang anukampang upadaya patiganha tu muttamang Vannaganda guno petam etam kusuma santatim pujayami menindassa siri pada saroruhe pujemi buddham kusumena nena punyena metena cahotu mokkam Pupang milayati yathai me kayo tathayati vinasa bhavam akasatta jabummata devanaga mahidika punyang tam anumoditva chiram rakkantu lokasasanang Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahidika punyang tam anumoditva ciram rakkantu desanang Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahidika punyang tam anumoditva ciram rakkantu mamparamti devo vassatu kalena sasampati hetuca pito bhavantu loko ca raja bhavantu dhammiko Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo tu yavanip bana pattia kayena vaca cittena pamadena mayagatam Chayam kamame bante buri panya tathagata kayena vaca cittena pamadena mayagatam Achayam kamame dhamma sandittika akalika kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katam acayam kamame sangga supatipanna anuttara
Karaniya-matta-kusalena yantang santang padang abhisamecca sakko uju ca suju ca Suvacho chasamudu anatimani santosako cha subarocha appakicho cha sallahukavutti santina appagabbo kule su ananugiddo nachakudang samma chare kinchi yena vinyo pare upavadeyong sukino va kemino hontu sabbe sattha bhavantu sukitattha ye ke chipana bhutati tasava thavarava anapasesa digava ye mahantava majjima rasakanu katula dittava yeva adittha ye chadure vasanti avidure Uthava sambhavesiva sabbe sattha bhavantu sukitattha naparo param nikubbeta nati manyeta kattachinam kanchi biaro sana patika sanya nanya manya sadukka mitcheya Mathayatani yang puttang ayusa eka puttamanurakkhe evampi sabbabhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang mettang ca sabbalokasming manasang bhavaye aparimanang uddang ado catiriyan ca asang badang avirang asapatang tithang charam nisinova sayanova yavatassa vikatamiddo etang satim aditteya brahmametang viharang idamahu dittinca anupagamma silava Dasanena sampanno kame suvine yagedang nahijatu kappaseyang punareti etena satcha vajjena sottite hotu sabbada etena satcha vajjena sottite hotu sabbada etena satcha vajjena sottite hotu sabpada. By this declaration of the truth, may you be safe at all times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Sister May and Sister Doris for today's Sunday Pūjā. Back with us this week is none other than Brother Leng Huat to share on Tirokudda Sutta. Over to you, Brother Leng Huat.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, but for the season, now it's the 7th moon. So to hear many temples, the Theravada temples, be chanting the Tirokudda Sutta, and also the Mahayana temples, be celebrating the Ulambana, they call it. So let's just clarify what is this Tirokudda and all this Ulambana a little bit. Okay, so before we begin, can I have the slides of the parents on the Tirokudda Sutta? Okay, so this one is actually spelled, I think, by the Thais. That's why they got the TTA. But we will adopt as DDA, Tirokudda. Okay, that is a change that we have made on our main slides. Tirokudda. Okay, before we begin, I think I would like to, because I would like to chant this sutta. I'm not surprised because I also seldom hear this sutta. I heard this sutta being chanted only last year, and some of us they also said that they have not heard this sutta before. So let us chant this sutta, and before we begin with the sharing. Before we begin, let me also pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha for enlightening us with the Tirokudda Sutta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tirokudda Sutta Sandi Singhatake Sucha Dwada Baha Sutitanti Agantwana Sakanggarang Pahute Annapanam Hi Kajjabujje Upatite Nate Sangko Cisa Sarati, Te Sangko Cisarati Satanang Kama Pacaya Evang Dadanti Nyati Nang Yehonti Anukampaka Sucing Panitang Kalena Kap Yang panabojanang idang wo nyati nang otu sukita hontu nyatayo idang wo nyati nang otu sukita hontu nyatayo idang wo nyati nang otu sukita hontu nyatayo Te cetata samagantwa nyati peta samagata pahute annapanamhi sakacang anumodare cirang jivantuno nyati yesang hetu labamase Amha kanca kata puja daya kaca anipala nahi tatta kasi ati gorakhetana vijjati vanijjata disi nyati Hiranyena kaya kayang ito dinnena ya penti peta kala gata tahing unname udakang wutang yathanin nang pawattati evamevang ito dinnang peta nang upakapati yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sagarang evameva ito dinnang peta nang upakapati ada si me akasi me nyati mita sakaca me petanang dakhinang dajja puppe kata manusserang ada si me akasi me nyati mita sakaca me petanang dakhinang dajja puppe kata manusserang nahirunang vasoko va ya chanya paridevana natang petana mataya evang tittanti nyatayo ayang ko dakkina dinna sanghang hi supatitita igaratang hitayasa tanaso upakapati Sonyati Dhammo cha ayang nidasito Petana Pūjā cha kata ulara Pelanca bhikkhuna manupadinang Umhehi punyang pasutang anapakanti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so we shall now, like I've said, I have actually mentioned sometimes to my friends that this sutta, although very popularly chanted during the 7th moon, but this is not exclusively or especially for chanting during the 7th moon. This is also a teaching sutta. Yeah, but incidentally, the Theravadins have adopted this to chant during the 7th moon. You know, but don't be mistaken that this sutta is a ritual sutta. What I'm trying to say is it is more than just a mantra actually. There's normal sutta that teaches us a lot of things. So we shall now go through stanza by stanza to understand the meaning of this sutta. Yeah, to explore the meaning and not really understand. We explore the meaning, then we try to understand. Yeah. So the introduction to this sutta is, yes. So the introduction to this sutta is this during the Hungry Ghost Festival. It is a traditional Chinese practice where you see there's a lot of places, a lot of Chinese people, they'll be burning joss sticks. You find them along the roads, along the streets, they're making offerings, red joss sticks, red candles, and joss sticks and fruits, you know, and they would actually place it by the road. And then these are all actually offered to the petas from the royal ram. Yeah. So anyway, this normally, okay, but don't be mistaken. Now, this is not the Buddhist practice, of course. Neither is this a Mahayana practice, you know. I don't think it is a Mahayana practice either, because this is more or less our Chinese culture. You know, wherever the Chinese go, they will bring the culture along, and then sometimes it appears to be assimilated into our Buddhist kind of practice, you know. But this definitely is not it's not our practice to put fruit everywhere, and you know. Okay, so also I think the Ulam Bana also doesn't say so. The Buddha actually gave us 2 suttas on these kind of practices. Right? So what happens is now in the Theravada context, the Buddha taught us the Tirokudda Sutta. Yeah. In the Mahayana context, I believe they were taught about this in the Ulambana Sutta. And both actually came to the same conclusion that these are not periodical kind of offering, you know. There's no such thing as, you know, hell gate swings open and all the hell beings can come out and roam about freely. And this is not also the Mahayana practice, you know. I don't think we should be mistaken as if this is a Mahayana practice. This is a Chinese cultural practice. So the Buddha has taught 2 suttas, one to the Theravadins. So we are focusing more on the Tirokudda Sutta, while the Mahayanas, they focus on the Ulambana Sutta. So briefly, we can try to understand. Like I've said, number one, both also does not succumb to the idea that hell gate swings open during the 7th moon. The petas or the hungry ghosts or any other beings, they are all roaming around the streets every day. Every day, every minute, every second, they're all roaming around. Not only on the 7th moon. And that is what has been taught in the Tirokudda Sutta. And also, I believe it is also same in the Ulambana Sutta also. Ours is based on King Bimbisara. King Bimbisara one day gave dana to the Buddha, and then at night he has got a lot. In his palace, he hears a lot of wailing sound, shouting, crying, wailing. You know, so he's very much disturbed, you know. So he kind of got worried a bit, Okay, so but ours in the Ulambana Sutta, it is more about our venerable Moggallana, who realizes that his mother is suffering in the hungry ghost realm. Correct? And then he tried to go there with his psychic power. You know, Venerable Moggallana has got very powerful psychic power. He went to visit his mother in the Hungry Ghost realm, trying to feed her from the bowl. But each time when he took a spoonful of rice to put in the mouth, it turned into burning coal. So she could not eat, you know. Everything put in the mouth become burning coal. So she couldn't eat. So that is their introduction. Ours says that King Bimbisara had a lot of noise after giving dana to the Buddha, heard a lot of noise. At night, wailing sound, screeching sound, shouting, crying. So in the morning, he went to see the Buddha and said, Buddha, I gave you dana yesterday, but last night, oh, it was I heard a lot of noises around my palace. What happened, you know? Then the Buddha explained to him that actually these were your past relatives. Past relatives who were actually expecting you to dedicate these merits to them. That you have given dana to the Buddha and the members of the Mahasangha, and they expect you to kind of dedicate this merits to them. Because that was what was forecasted by Kassapa Buddha, the Buddha before Gautama Buddha, the Buddha before our present Buddha. Kassapa Buddha told them, they asked, actually, okay, these hungry ghosts, let us understand again, these wailing sounds were all past relatives of King Bimbisara. This is our Theravada Tirokudda Sutta, the introduction and the story behind it. So they actually were a group of people who were assigned by the king to give dana to the Buddha, the Pussa Buddha, which is 7th Buddha before our present Buddha. You know, just imagine how long it was. They say it's 92 kalpas, billions and billions of years. You know, So 92 kalpas ago, these were the group of people. They were assigned to give dana to the monks and the sangha. But some of them became a bit greedy. So at the spur of the moment, they took some back, you know. They did not give all to the Buddha and the Sangha. They took some back for their own use. At the spur of the moment, the greed got the better of them. And because of that instant whereby they deprived the Buddha and the members of the Mahasangha of their little food, they suffered for 92 kalpas in the hell. Okay? So we have to remember here, the lesson here is we must not let greed, neither hatred nor delusion overcome us. Because the spur of the moment, we make a poor decision. We never know. It could be a very serious kind of bad karma, akusala karma. We may be sent to hell directly, you know. So like it happened to this group of people. So they were in hell for 92 kalpas. And then one day they were lucky that they were relieved off during Kassapa Buddha's time. Okay, they were actually went to hell during Pussa Buddha time. There are 7 Buddha before our Gautama Buddha. So 1 Buddha before our present Buddha is Kassapa Buddha. So during his time, this group of unfortunate beings in hell, they were a little bit upgraded this time. They went to become Ekasana, hungry ghosts. Rather than burning in Avici hell, they were promoted to be hungry ghosts. But still, it's a very bad, terrible suffering state. But they were lucky they could speak to Kassapa Buddha and they asked him, please help us. What can you do? They say, yes, the next Buddha, in the next Buddha called Gautama Buddha, you will have one relative who will become the king, and he will be known as King Bimbisara. And he will give dana to the Buddha and dedicate the merits to you all, and that is when all your sufferings will be relieved. So they were looking forward, you know, they were looking forward now for years of suffering. Then when the time came, one of their relatives became King Bimbisara that we talk about. So when King Bimbisara gave dana to the Buddha, they thought, wow, this is the day we are liberated, Lord. This is the day we are going to be saved, Lord, as predicted by Kassapa Buddha. Unfortunately, King Bimbisara forgot to dedicate merits to the past relatives. all the long lost relatives. So they were suffering and they cry at night, Lord. They say, oh, gone, our chance are gone. You see, they can be relieved, but now what happens? So they were wailing at night, crying at night. So the Buddha explained to King Bimbisara, this is what is happening. So King Bimbisara regretted and said, can I now offer you dana again and your entourage of monks? And this time I will dedicate this marriage to them. Correct. And the Buddha in his silence, normally the Buddha never say can or cannot. No, Buddha, when the Buddha keep quiet means it's consent. So the Buddha remained quiet. Then King Bimbisara prepared special again dana for the Buddha and his members of the Mahasangha, and they ate. And when the king poured water to the Buddha, offered water to the Buddha, he says, may the marriage I accrue from this dana and this water that I offer to you be dedicated to all my long lost relatives who are suffering. That is when the Buddha, with his power, with his very powerful eyes, with his psychic eyes, he could see what is happening. All the hungry ghosts were very happy, transforming. So he made King Bimbisara also be able to see this, Then King Bimbisara saw all his past relatives who were actually in ugly state, never bathed for 92 kalpas, never eat, never bathe. And then when he offered water, he noticed that there's a pond appeared. Suddenly a beautiful, clear water pond appeared, and with lots of lotuses appearing inside. This all special, Then all these beings, they were able to bathe on that day. They bathed and all the skin color changed, they all became like gold. They got the hue of gold now. The skin is the hue of gold, color of gold now, So all became very, very, very powerful devas now, correct? They were relieved of their suffering. So then only King Bimbisara can offer solid food to them, and they ate for the very first time. For 92 kalpas, they had their first solid meal. Otherwise, their mouths are like needle sharp, they cannot take solid meal. They needle, so now only they can. And then, so that is a lesson we learn. What lesson we learn from here, we can contemplate and say that, yes, the dana thing is a very powerful tool. So what we are trying to tell you is that Tirokudda Sutta teaches you to remember your ancestors every day. Don't have to wait until the 7th moon. For us, Theravada Buddhists, and I think also the Mahayana Buddhists, they also actually give kind of they will transfer the merits every day. Every time we do something good, every time we have recited the puja, we transfer merits to them. We don't wait until 7th moon. But the 7th moon is the Buddhist, is a Chinese culture, which I think is again beautiful. At least once a year, we will remember to dedicate merits to our long lost relatives. It's not easy. Not every one of us remembers to dedicate merits to our long lost relatives every day. So at least the Chinese culture reminds you once a year, don't forget, you must dedicate this on the 7th moon. So it is actually also a good practice. It's a good reminder to us. Okay. So also coming back to the Ulambana Sutta was like that, the story. So when Moggallana tried to give the mother solid food, porridge from the bowl, that spoonful of porridge turned into burning coal. It turned into burning coal. So she can't eat actually, So Moggallana went to ask the Buddha for advice. So he says, Bhante, what can I do to help my mother? So Bhante says, it's very easy, Don't wait for 7th moon. But they say you just give dana anytime. You give dana to all the monks, and then dedicate the merits to your mother. You see, so that is what is being taught. So we must remember this lesson. We must be, and then so Moggallana did exactly the same thing. And then his mother was relieved of their suffering. And then apparently they do this. Okay, so this Ulambana is also a special occasion for them actually. It is just like we celebrate our Patina maybe. I'm not sure. So Ulambana is also after the summer retreat, so they have got the celebration also. So what they do is they say during this celebration, when we are celebrating and offering food to the monk, dedicate these merits to your long lost relatives. So the teachings are about the same. It is similar but different incidences where the Buddha gave the same kind of teaching. Now the Buddha doesn't deviate. So that is how Ulambana is practiced as a celebration for the monks who have completed their summer vasa. And all these food dedicated offered to the monks, the Maris accrue that are dedicated again to the long lost relatives and all the relatives that passed away. So that is what is Ulambana all about. And that is what Tirokudda Sutta is all about. So like I've always stressed that this is a teaching sutta, not specially designed for you to chant during 7th moon only. So that's why we seldom hear this sutta being chanted. I only heard it once, there was 1 year ago, and then I have to learn this sutta. So now, that is why I'm saying now, this is not a chanting sutta, but a teaching sutta. And now we shall revisit stanza number 1 and see what it says in stanza number 1. Because we will go through and try to understand. So stanza number 1 says, okay, stanza number 1, Tirokudda Sutta Titanti Sandi Sikha Takesu Cha Dwara Baha Sutitanti Agantwana Sakangara. So what it says here is stanza number 1, you will say is actually the teachings are very simple. So it just, I give you the, like what I said, Tirokudda is actually called outside the walls. That is outside the wall. So outside the wall, they say is, outside the walls, you find them, sitting there, waiting there, outside the doors, outside the wall, and at T-junctions, you will find them there. Outside the wall, they stand, and at crossroads, at doorposts, they stand, returning to their old homes. That's what it says. So what does it mean? So we know Tirokudda means outside the wall, and then at crossroads, and then at posts, they are waiting there. What does it mean? So sometimes we reflect and remember that this is what the Buddha taught to us about attachment. Correct? That sometimes these people, not all, don't think that our parents are like that. No, I don't think so. They brought us up so well. I'm sure they all have gone to heaven. Don't worry. So what is happening now is there are people who are very attached to their homes. They bought a very new house, or they bought the first home, or one, and they passed away. They're so attached to it, So that's why they are attached to it, that they are hanging around that place all the time. So it is our duty to actually invite them. And each time we give dana, we must dedicate Maris to them so that they can realize and live peacefully. So what it says here is attachment. These beings who are attached to their homes may linger around that place. Then the second stanza says, Pahute annapanam hi kajjabo bojje upattite na tesang kochi sarati satanang kamma pachaya. It says here is that, so what it says here is attachment. These beings who are attached to their homes may linger around that place. Okay, so second stanza says, that when the meal is served with plentiful food and drinks, and no one remembers them. We don't remember them every day. We just makan, we got party, we eat, but we don't remember them, because of such is the karma of those living beings. Those were the karma, because when they are in a very poor state, means they've done something very bad in the past life. So that karma is now actually, they're reaping that bad karma. So people don't remember them, So we are taught to be grateful. That's what the Buddha says. So this is about gratefulness now. For us, these two stanzas will remind us to be grateful. Grateful people are reliable people, the Buddha says. Ungrateful people are not reliable. So we are Buddhists. We are the first thing the Buddha taught us is how to be grateful. The Buddha was grateful to the Bodhi tree who protected the Buddha when he was enlightened. So we must also be grateful to all our ancestors, long ancestors we have not met before, but they have groomed each and every level of our ancestry, and we are what we are today. We also owe that to them. So we must learn to be grateful. That's why the Buddha says that because of the bad karma, nobody remembers them. Nobody offers food to them. And also we remember that ghosts are also craving, don't forget. This stanza means they are also craving, but they're craving for the human food which is not suitable for them. Yeah, that's a problem, huh? They are not, this food are not suitable for them. So these petas, like I've said, they are known to have big body with needles, sharp mouth, so they can't take anything, The body is very big, they're always hungry and thirsty, but they can't drink and eat. See, there's a problem because their mouth is so tiny, like a needle end, So that is why they are suffering. So also, so that we have to dedicate these merits. We have to dedicate, and for us, we must remember it is not only seasonal. We must remember it is not seasonal. So stanza number 3. Evang dadanti nyatinang yehonti anukampaka sucing panitang kalena kapiang pana bojanang. So here what does it say is actually, it says that thus they give to their relative those who are compassionate. Those who are compassionate means people like us who are compassionate, we give relatives clean, excellent, those who are compassionate, clean, excellent, in the right moment, proper drinks and food. Okay, so those who are compassionate, people like us, we are taught to be compassionate. That's the basic quality of a Buddhist. We must be compassionate. As a basic Buddhist quality, we have to be compassionate, and then we must dedicate food at a proper time. Proper food and at a proper time. What does this mean? Proper food, proper time. You see, Janus Sonim, there is another Brahmin called Janus Sonim, He also went to see the Buddha. He says, for us, we Brahmin now, we have got a special way of actually making offerings. Because those days during the Buddha's time, there are a lot of all these offerings, animal offerings, macam-macam offerings they have, So they say that we like to do offerings to all our past relatives. So they receive them, So that's why it says, we got to give it timely giving. So Janus Sonim asked the Buddha, all these merits I dedicate to them. Do you think they receive? Then the Buddha explained to him, not everyone receives and not everyone don't receive. Okay? So the Buddha explained to them what are the conditions when they can receive. What are the conditions when they can receive? The Buddha says, supposing the Buddha says, if somebody who does not follow the 5 precepts, people who are rascal, who kill, who steals, who tells lies, who misbehave sexually, who like to gossip, like to drink, get drunk, and have a lot of wrong views in their mind. Thinking that there's no tomorrow, they do start killing, plundering, and all those things. These are people are born in hell. Right? And how can this food receive? They cannot receive this food. Because in hell, you have no time to eat. You are suffering and burning all the time. So you don't eat, So they won't receive, the Buddha says. But there are others also, maybe who kills and steals, but not so much bad things they do, So they are born in the animal realm. Then again, the Buddha says, in the animal realm, these animals, they eat animal food. So they also won't receive, your merits you dedicate to them, right? But there are people, the Buddha says, yes, there are people who are good, follows the 5 precepts, like us, very good. We follow the 5 precepts. We don't kill, we don't steal, we don't misbehave ourselves, we don't get drunk, we don't tell lies. And we are very compassionate people, good people. We are reborn as humans again, maybe we are lucky. We are born as humans again. And we eat human food. This also we will not receive what? Correct? You make an offering, how can I receive? Correct. Somebody, my relative somewhere in England making an offering, how can I receive? I won't receive. So again, he said, if you are born a human, you also cannot receive. Then again, people like us again who are better than people like us. They don't kill, they don't steal, they don't misbehave, and then they cultivate the mind, all that. They are born in the Deva realm. Devas eat a different set of food also. They won't take your food. They also cannot receive. Correct? So again, the Buddha says they won't receive. You are in Avicii hell, you cannot receive. You're born as an animal, you cannot receive. If you're born as a human, you also cannot receive. Even if you're born as gods and devas, you also cannot receive. That's what the Buddha says. But the Buddha says there's only one plane that they can receive if they are born as hungry ghosts. If they are born as petas, they are the ones who are able to receive this merits. So the merits that you dedicate will never be wasted. Then again, Jana Sunim asked him, but in case my relatives are not born as petas, then all this food again, all this merits wasted. The Buddha says they can never be wasted. Because all of us, in a way, are related to each other. What does that mean? That means our life history is dated back from billions of years. We have been born and reborn in samsara for many, many, many years. The Buddha says is equivalent to your tears can fill the ocean. That is the amount of life that we have lived. That the tears that we cry can fill the ocean. So how many lives you have lived? So during this samsaric journey over billions and billions and billions of years and kalpas, we must have some relatives who are still in need of our help. Those born during the dark ages, in particular, what do you mean by dark ages? When the time when there's no Dhamma, right? Then these are the people who might be reborn as hungry ghosts and all. Then they may receive. Okay, so that is why the Buddha says those who are reborn in the dark ages, and maybe I divert a bit. What is dark ages? I define for you again. Dark ages means the time when there's no proper Dhamma. Not that dark ages means that there is no moral, no nothing. There is a bit of culture there, but there is no Dhamma. What do you mean by no Dhamma? Now, again here, Brahmin Janaswami has asked the Buddha, how do I choose what is right Dhamma and what is not wrong? What is the Dhamma? Because there are so many teachers. During the Buddha's time, there were 6 very powerful teachers, although there were 62 teachers altogether, but 6 very popular ones, Sanjaya, and there are 6 of them. So the Buddha says that then Janaswami asked the Buddha, so which one to follow? Which is the better one? Which is no good one? Please tell me. But the Buddha doesn't criticize. The Buddha is not that kind who like to criticize. He teaches like that, he teaches like that, all rubbish, all rubbish. No. The Buddha says you follow the teaching. Remember, this is very, very, very true. What is the correct Dhamma that we should follow? The Buddha didn't tell you to condemn this, condemn that, condemn this, condemn that. No. Okay? The Buddha says you follow the Dhamma that teaches the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. If that teachings carry this teaching, there is a good teaching. If the teaching doesn't have the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path, these are no good teaching. Because if you don't have this, if you don't practice the Four Noble Truths, if you don't understand the Four Noble Truths, you don't practice Eightfold Path, you cannot be liberated. So that's why the Buddha says, a good Dhamma is the Dhamma that teaches you to realize the Four Noble Truths and to practice the Eightfold Path to realize the Four Noble Truths. If that teaching is in any other teaching, that teaching can be accepted. And that is the proper Dhamma. The Buddha defined Dhamma as that. That consists of the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. Because without this, you cannot be liberated. Without realizing the Four Noble Truths, remember, without realizing the Four Noble Truths and without practicing and cultivating the Eightfold Path, you cannot be liberated. And that means that teaching that teaching is not good enough. A good teaching must have this. Okay. So then, that down we have diverted a bit. So we'll continue again. Where were we just now, parents? And then now we will go to Idang Me Nya Tinang Hotu. Here it says Idang Wo because this one is a third party. The Buddha told them that you must dedicate your merits to your relatives. Idang Wo Nya Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nya Tayo. Now, at least we know that when we recite Idang Me Nya Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nya Tayo, my merits we dedicate to all our relatives. This is Wo means your merits. So that is third party thing, So Idang Me, okay, so what does it mean? We now realize that this transference of merits that we chant is actually from this sutta. So this is a practicing sutta, not only a ritual. So now Idang Wo Nya Tinang Hotu means may your merits be dedicated to your relatives. That is a third party giving instruction. So for us, when we recite, we say Idang Me Nya Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nya Tayo. Okay, so we must say that. So let this be for my relatives. May my relatives or our relatives be happy. may they have gathered here, the departed relatives gathered too. So we always remember them. When we have done something good, the Buddha says you must dedicate your merits. Idang wo, you dedicate your merits. Then when we say idang me nyati nang hotu, okay? So that's why we say idang me nyati nang hotu. Okay, this is the third party giving instruction. Okay, okay. Let me go to the next stanza. Okay, stanza number pahute annapanamhi sakacang anumodere chiram divantu no nyati ye sang hetu labamase. Stanza number 5 will say, what does it mean? That in the abundance of food and drinks, they wholeheartedly rejoice. May our relatives live long, from whom we receive these offerings. Huh? So this one is, these long lost relatives will be happy, you know, with what they receive. They too will wish us for long life. The moment when they rejoice, you see, when we transfer merits again, so this one we can explain a little bit. When we transfer merits, idang wo nyati nang hotu, so kita hontu nyata yo, idang me nyati nang hotu, does not mean that our merits help them, you know. You know, from the Theravada point of view, we always say that we cannot share merits physically. We cannot transfer. I work hard and I dedicate, and then I say, okay, this point, give it to you to help you. No, I take my fixed deposit with you. No, it's not like that, you know. We agree that it is not like that, okay? So sometimes people say, why it contradicts what? If you say that merits cannot be transferred, why do we have to recite this? Why dedicate merits to our relatives? Because in Buddhism, we don't believe what? You reap what you sow. So how can I work very hard and then somebody else pass exam? Cannot, you know, we agree with that view. Definitely that is our view. So then how does this merit help them? And that is a question people will ask, you know. They say that we are wrong. This is definitely contradicting. So many people don't want to transfer merits. You know, what they say is contradicting the teachings of the Buddha. Buddha says you must do your own. Okay, I agree. I study, I pass the exam. I cannot study for you. You cannot pass the exam because I study. I agree. And these merits are not like the fixed deposit. I can withdraw from a bank and pass to your bank, and you got money you can enjoy. No, we also agree. But how does it help? That is the question here. The idea we say is when we transfer merits to them, what will happen? You know, they will be very happy. You know, when we transfer merits to our, see, these people are hungry ghosts. They live in the suffering world. They have nothing to rejoice, nothing to be happy about. It's all suffering. Remember, for kalpas full of suffering. But when they see a relative, people like us, we remember them. Although we have not met these relatives, long lost relatives, but we still remember them mentally. We dedicate this to them. We hope this can help them. So they'll be very happy for that moment, you know. For that moment, they see this, wow, I still have people who care for me. Right? And that the moment of happiness, they rejoice, is the moment of realization for them, you know. They suddenly, actually they're happy, you know. Oh, I still got relatives who think about me. I've never met these relatives, you know, but they still, then they become happy, they rejoice. And that moment of happiness, they have never felt when I do kalpas. For kalpas and kalpas maybe. So that, then they will realize. That through that rejoice, through that mudita, you know, then they will realize and get a better result. So that will put an end to their suffering. That is how it helps them. Not because, oh, I got merits now. This is my past. I go and see Yama God. Hey, Yama God, I got enough merits to release me. No, but because when they were happy, they themselves would release themselves from their suffering. Otherwise, their mind is always in a state of suffering. When they rejoice, it's a different state altogether. Then they transform. So that is how merits are being transformed. Then we say, we always say also, Bro Tan, you also say dedicate merits to the devas. Devas higher than us. What for? Correct. Agreed also. What merits I get, I say dedicate to the devas. He said, devas are higher than us. You know, so what for? Again here, when we dedicate merits to the devas, they become happy also. Same thing. And then they watch us chanting, they see us chanting, and these are teachings of the Buddha. They are listening. When we chant, they listen. And then they learn and realize, eventually they know that their life there is not permanent. see their life full of happiness, they may forget, They may forget that this will come to an end. One party in life of suffering do not know how to rejoice. They in life of happiness, they do not know what suffering is. So when we chant all this and teach them, they will realize that their position there is also temporary. Nothing is impermanent. So that thought will help them, that they will continue to do more good. Otherwise, they just enjoy themselves until they finish all their good merits. So now they realize that, oh my God, my place here is not permanent. I'm just a temporary deva too. I may be reborn in hell after that, So then they will continue to do and continue to cultivate more good, or cultivate mentally, spiritually, and then they go higher and higher until they reach Nibbana. So that's how they are actually blessed sometimes. And then when they are happy with this, what do they do? Yes, they can bless us. Yes, we are lower than them. They can bless us. They will bless us with our good health, a good opportunity to continue to practice the Dhamma and to continue to teach the Dhamma to people. Because to them also, like I've said, when we are chanting, actually thousands and thousands of devas are around us to listen. That is our belief. Okay, so that is how I will want to describe this stanza. Pahute annapanamhi sakachang anumodare chirang jivantu no nyati ye sang hetu labamase. That is how I will want to do that. And then you don't forget that every time you see, then sometimes people ask, then you chant, you don't cultivate also. Agreed. But we are actually cultivating. What are we cultivating? Each time, like stanza 5 says, each time we are dedicating this merits to them, they are grateful to us, We are actually practicing what? Loving kindness, We are practicing our compassion. We are practicing our compassion, practicing our loving kindness. Not talking, not talking about loving kindness every day, compassion every day, but where's the action? So this is the action. At least, yes, physically we help, we give charity, we do a lot of good things. Mentally, we remember our relatives, we remember our devas. That is also another form of cultivation. We also dedicate to them. This is all actually about us practicing metta. This is all about not only us practicing metta, also practicing our compassion. Okay, I think I've gone a little bit too detail. Time is catching up. Okay, we will just go through the next one. Amha kancha kata puja dayaka cha anipla na hi tataka kasi ati goraketa na vijati. So this stanza, we say that we have been honored. Giver will not be rewarded in the realm. You see, so they are very happy. This stanza says that we have been honored. Giver will not be rewarded in this realm. There is no farming, no herding, no cattle. They say here that they have been honored, and the giver won't go without reward. The giver is not without reward. They are happy with us because in their place, in the plain, like I told you, it's all suffering. There's no cattle breeding. There's no money changing. There is no money exchanging hand. They say here. There's no herding of cattle. You go to stanza 7, the same thing. It says, now business here, there is none. No buying, selling too with money. They live on what is given here, support to the departed. So again, now you learn that in stanza 6 and 7, it says, and this is 5 and 6. Okay, the next one. It says that there is no farming there. There is no cattle breeding. There is no bank. There is no buying and selling. So there's all suffering there. But when you give them the merit, they get elevated. They are grateful to you. They say, don't worry, you won't go without reward. First reward we get is we have cultivated our compassion and metta, which is very, very important as our cultivation. Our spiritual cultivation is there also. And then when they are upgraded, they will remember us, they will reward us. And when they say, okay, now go to stanza 7. We have to rush a little bit. I see that I've taken, okay. Stanza 7, Vatnija ta disi nati Okay, stanza 7 says, Hiranyena kaya kayang ito dinena ya penti peta kalagata tahing. So it says here there is no business here, there is no buying and selling. They live on what is given. Remember, so you must always give. They live on what is given, and there's a support to the departed over there. So that is life there. Okay. What does that mean? That means to say that during this season sometimes, like I've said now, during this season you see a lot of people red candles by the road, offerings, burning of paper, jaws, macam-macam lah. They burn. Sometimes they burn effigy of, houses and macam-macam lah. So what does that mean? So if you read this carefully, there is no trading there. You don't send them the money there. So there's no value there. That's what he says. So, but these are our cultural practice, These are not the Mahayana practice either, Neither is this the Theravada practice, but these are only cultural practice to reflect your gratefulness, your gratitude, your past relatives. I will not condemn them, although we don't encourage you to do that. You encourage you to use that money, convert that into dana to the monks or to any other people who need dana, and dedicate the merits to your loved ones. And that is more important. And not burning all this. Here it says here, stanza 7 says that there is no business there. You give them all this money also. Maybe they receive, I don't know. But also, there is no business there, they can't buy anything. Correct? Even if they receive also, there's no value to them. I remember when I was young also, I got cupboards full of all the Japanese currencies, but all had no value. So no point. Full, cupboard full, I'm used to play that after that, and play with that, but they're all of no value. Same thing, you send to them, maybe they receive, but then it has no value. Okay, then we go to stanza 8. It says just like rainwater. Unname udakang gutang yatha ninnang pavattitang eva mevang ito dinnang petanang upakapati. So it says here that even just like the rainwater flows from higher grounds down to the lower ground. So also what is given here benefits the departed. So you see, we can only transfer our merits, our good thoughts to whatever we can do, will go down. We cannot give this to the devas, but the devas can bless us. So it flows from higher level to lower level, like water. That is why you look at the poster, we put a symbol of pouring water. The water flows from higher ground to lower ground. So that means people from higher ground can bless people from lower ground. So we are higher than them. We can give them the blessings. We can give them the aid. We can give them the subsistence, whatever it is. But by dedicating merits. Okay? So that's what it says. And then we go to stanza 9 and 10. It's the same thing. Stanza 9 and 10. Yatha. This is always chanted when you go to the wake. You notice the monk will chant this one. But now we know where they come from. Now we know that this is where they come from. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sagarang evamevang ito dinnang petanang upakapati. Then number 10 it says adasime akasime nyati mitta sakha chame petanang dakinang dajja Ukbe kata manusarang. And then also we continue. I think time is catching up. Okay, we go to the next one. Nahirunang va soko va ya channe paridevana natang petanang petana mataya evang titantinyatayo. Ayanchako din. Okay, I will always I will do ayancha dakina dinna, and I will skip that ko but fine this ko is there. Ayanchako din dakina dinna sanghang hi supatitita higaratang hitayasa thanaso upakapati. Okay. And then, okay, these last few stanzas are just reminding you that we are all actually related in a way. It says that we all related in a way, and then we must learn to remember to dedicate merits. We are all related in a way. In a way, it says here that we are all related. She gave to me, she worked for me, we were relatives and friends. giving offering, then for the departed, recalling what has been done together. So we have to remember that we are all related in a way. It is the karmic forces that brought us all together. It's not that by chance that we are here and I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, we are learning chanting together, but because of our past connection that we have. We have those past connections. We have those past connections. That is why we are together. So stanza 8 and 7, 8, 9 is basically about high level and low level coming down. So stanza 10 will tell you that we are all related in a way or another. So remember, we mustn't be fighting among ourselves, jealousy and all that. So the Buddha tells us that we are all related in a way. You were once my mother, maybe you were once my sister, maybe you were once my wife, maybe I was once your father, maybe I was once your brother, maybe, brother doesn't mean big brother, I can be even your younger brother before. We are all related in a way. That is why we are together today, listening and talking to each other. So nyati dhammo cha ayang didasito petana puja cha kata ulara pelanca bhikkhu nang bhikkhu na panupadinang tumhehi punyang pasutang anapakanti. Okay, so this is the last stanza that will tell us that the proper duty of surviving relatives have been shown, how to best honor the departed. Food representing strength have been given to the monks. Merits accrued is enormous. Okay, remember. So here it says that actually, explanation here is actually the proper duty of surviving relatives have been shown. Now, what you should do as the surviving relative today, and that the food given to the monks, actually you accrue abundance of merits. This is being explained in the Velama Sutta. In the Velama Sutta, this has been explained very clearly. So this has been explained very clearly in the Velama Sutta, the scale of merits, and giving merits giving food to monks, to the Buddha and the entourage of monks, you get enormous amount of merits. And these merits, I always remember, we must dedicate to our protective devas and also to our past relatives. And this is how they benefit from these merits. So the Tirokudda Sutta, try to read and understand them. It is not a ritual kind of a sutta only, not only meant for the seventh moon. It is a teaching sutta. And that is what little I have rushed through the last few suttas I went through very quickly with you. But nevertheless, those are not so critical as the first few suttas. They were focusing more on the higher level to lower level kind of transference of this. Okay, so with that, I will thank you again for your time. I'm sorry I've taken a little bit extra time today. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So over to you, Brother Terence.
Thank you very much, Brother Leng Huat, for your kind sharing today. Now, like Brother Leng Huat has explained just now, so the filial piety month will dedicate the marriage to all our departed relatives too. Now, let's compose our minds as we chant. Akasatha cha bhummata deva naga mahittika punyang tam anumoditva chiram rakkantu loka sasanang ettavakta amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe bhuta sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Dedication or marriage to the departed. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. And aspirations. Emena punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo tu yava nibbana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for watching and staying back. For other videos, please visit the links below. Bye-bye for now. See you again next week. Next week, we are going to have a live session from somebody, Setia Alam. Bye-bye.